Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back, or welcome to another Bangs audio review as I stop Hypermass for a second. Not that I really wanted to. Today is the TRN Shell review day. Oh, the house is so quiet. I mean, it's really weird. Usually there's something going on, but as I mentioned in the community section, Mama's out of the house, kiddo's out of the house, and I'm just here for a few more hours before I head off to a Rochester Red Wings baseball game. So that should be fun with the kiddo and the grandparents and stuff. But I figured, it's probably a good time to do a review, so I've got the shell for you. Yeah, the box is really shiny, so I can't really put it see that's annoying. So anyway, there's the box, right? You want to open it? Let's open it. Okay. Over the past several days, I've had this in house for a while, and I've been listening to it for a while, and honestly, it's really grown on me. I mean, I'm not saying I didn't like it, because I did. That was upside down. IMs were here. Box, it's the pseudo pelican case again. This latch seems to be a little bit more resilient than the one on the White Tiger, so it's it actually does close fully. That's good. Good start. Super protective case. Still wouldn't bank on that being waterproof. And then selection of ear tips. There are quite a number of them actually in this one. So the TRN tees came with it, some foams, some other silicone, sort of standard operating procedure ear tips, narrow bore. The TRN tees I did use on them actually ended up being able to fit one of those mediums, which is really a small and pretty much any other ear tip, with some fairly deep insertion. But I was able to get a good seal, so I did spend some of the time with the TRNT ear tips that come with the set. I like those ear tips. I wish they had one size larger. I wish they had they call it an extra large or a double L or a medium large or whatever, but if they just had one up from, I think, the 12 millimeters, that would be super helpful to me, because the 12 millimeter fits great in my right ear, but not so much in my left. So the exception was the shell, because the shell's got a big shell. Not as big as the White Tiger shell, but it was okay. Anyway, worked out well. Box is nice. We'll just put it that way. Accessories are decent. Cable is modular. He converted. Sorry, that's what is that from? Adam Sandler's Hanukkah song, I think. Anyway, so yes, the cable is nice, and I'm not saying it's not anything more than nice. It's just nice. It's not great. It's not horrible. There's no chin slider. That's a personal pet peeve of mine, but whatever. Yeah, so good. And your typical what is that? Friction based attach and detach at the termination. The 3.5 that comes with it is there, and then you get your tuning nozzles, which honestly this time, I usually like tuning nozzles, but this time drove me nuts. The reason this is a little bit later in the day is because I had to remeasure them, because I couldn't figure out which went with which. Anyway, they're all color coded now, so when we look at the graph, you'll be able to see pretty easily which nozzles produce which frequency response. So I would say for the price point, which is, what is the shell? Was it more or less than the White Tiger? I think it's more. It is more. Yeah, it's 80-ish, I believe. Let's bring up Amazon here to get a good bead on it. I think it's 80. TRN Shell. I did order this from Amazon, so not a freebie. Nobody's asking me. Oh, it's less. Wow. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that works. And I do believe it is... No, not Sabaj. Who is the Who did I purchase from? Oh, Lee Audio. Okay. On sale right now for $52.79. Hey, howdy. That's a really wow. Even with the with mic one is even less, but I don't want the mic. So, but hey, you can get this set for seriously $43.39 right now. That's sick. That is sick. Wow, man. This is a hell of a set for under $60. It really is. Why did I think it was 80? Maybe because I think the Tiger is 80. I actually ended up liking this better than the Tiger when it was all said and done. Let's see if they've got some specs for me. Probably not, because that's never easy to find. Nope. All right, let's check the box. See if the box has got some specs for us. Yeah, no. Nope. It's got a graph on it. Oh, come on. All right, well, we'll get to specs eventually. Let me just throw up a Google search here. Trying not to waste too much of our time. TRN Shell specs. Thank you very much, Google AI. 16 ohm impedance, 110 decibel sensitivity. They are very sensitive and very easy to drive. So if you only have access to 3.5 in your sources on the termination, you're fine. Not a problem. 3 dynamic drivers, a 10, an 8, and a 6, and a 6 millimeter planar dynamic for the upper frequencies. You can tell it's planar. I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. You will be aware. But it's not bad, it's just that's planar treble. If you've heard it before, even the nicest, most expensive planar magnetic sets do elicit some of that sort of crystalline, cascadey kind of treble. And if you're a fan of that, then you're not going to have a problem. If that bothers you, you can skip it, because it's there. It's unavoidable. Especially there's a couple of peaks up there in the treble, depending on your nozzle. It will come even more forward to you. So it didn't bother me. Wasn't like anything that was egregious or, like I listened to a lot of metal, as you guys know. Didn't really have a negative effect on the metal tracks that I was listening to. In fact, I was just listening to Hypermass, and that's pretty energetic stuff. So you got to have kind of a little bit cooler treble. And I found the green nozzles were really the best for that. So majority of the listening was done on the green nozzles. Speaking of the nozzles, you've got green, black, and red. What the heck? We've already done the unbox and the specs, so let's jump right into sonic impressions and the graph. Here we go. So here's all 3. If you're having trouble with the colors on my camera, the most energetic treble wise and ear gain wise they are the black nozzles, color coded, the least being the red nozzles, and the middle ground being handled mostly by the green nozzles, which is where I ended up. I just kind of like the overall balance of that one. Let's take a look at the greens here by themselves, and there we go. Okay, so yeah, good channel matching. Really nice amount of sub bass and mid bass. It's a warm, fun, musical type of signature. Comes down. It's a bit of a V shape. You're gonna have slightly recessed mids, but not to the point where they're being masked by anything. And then your ear gain is fairly energetic on the greens, even more so on the blacks. So that's a different story, but we'll get to it. And then a nicely extended treble, little peak here at 8K, which with the planar magnetic driver you're going to pick up. Possibly the peak also at 11K or so you might also pick up. But the nice thing is that this extension of the treble does give you a pretty immersive sound stage. Not the most detail retrieval that I've experienced, but decent. Good, not great. And yeah, fairly fatigue free. I'll just put it that way. Fairly fatigue free. Even with the heaviest of my metal tracks, which I always end up testing on. Performed really well. The green in particular, sort of as an all-arounder. I didn't find anything that I thought was like, oh, well, this isn't sounding right. Everything sounded pretty correct. The set is pretty well balanced and enjoyable overall. for a really good price. God, why? I was thinking the whole time it was the like more expensive than the White Tiger. Maybe because it has one more driver in there than the White Tiger, right? The White Tiger is a 10, 10.5, 8, and a planar, and this is 10 and a half, 8, 6, and a 6 millimeter planar. So why is it less? I don't know. I don't know. Doesn't matter. That's good for us, right? That's definitely a good thing for us. So let's go left channel so we can compare again. All right, so let's do the red. The red is where the problem is, okay? So the only reason I didn't end up using the red nozzles, because they were fairly similar to the green, is because I think it's the right channel. No, it's the left channel. The left channel's like basically got the same signature as the black nozzles. Huh? And then the right channel basically has the same signature as the green nozzle. Huh? So what happened here? What happened to the right or the left channel on the red gaskets? What happened here? Did I get shorted on the red nozzles and get an extra green, or did they do this on purpose where you've got basically the black nozzles in your left ear and the green nozzles in your right? I don't know. It confused me. I'm confussed over this. I don't understand. So I said, fuck the red nozzles. I'm not even going to deal with that. Maybe at some point I'll try, sharing, like do the left channel red with one of the black nozzles and the right channel red with one of the green nozzles, and I'm probably not going to do that. I'm just going to leave the freaking green nozzles in because that's where I was enjoying them the most. So, and as you can see here, the black nozzles, the ear gain's even steeper, the treble is even more pronounced, and this was just a little bit too much even for me. And I'm not afraid of some ear gain, but man, that is one steep mother going up there, and you hear it. It is, yeah, borderline shouty for sure. But anyway, that's something that you like, then okay, have at it. It was too much for me, and I think that's saying something because I'm pretty tolerant to that shit. Right, so green. Stop showing me crappy news. I'm tired of crappy news. There we go. That's where it's at for me. That's where I really enjoyed this set. I felt like it's kind of, I don't know. It's kind of one of those things that grows on you. Like when I first listened to them, I was not like super impressed. I was like, yeah, these are good. These are good. But I wasn't like by the end of it, and that's even throwing in the mystery set, which is completely different and to like way different tuning. That almost really just fucked up my total review. But after listening to this for, a week or 10 days, I found that I liked it more and more. And we all know that sometimes the opposite can happen, where you're like really, really impressed out of the gate, and then after a while you're like, maybe that's kind of like what's happening with the Q, the Q UTG, that is, although I still freaking love that set. I still think it's a freaking just batshit crazy fun set to listen to. This one just, to me, it got more and more and more and more and more enjoyable the longer I listened to it. And now that I've got my, brain working again, the fact that it's $60 regular retail price and on sale for like low 50s or even low 40s if you've got a cable to swap out and you don't want to deal with the mic, then it gets a highly recommended. I mean, just like that. I mean, if it was 80, I was going to recommend it. If it's 60 or even 50 or 45, dude, all day long. This is a great value. Great value. And you do have options, for tuning for the nozzles, so you can pick your favorite. Now, that being said, I mean, none of these are shy in the ear gain, that's for sure. None of them are shy in bass, that's for sure. And yes, there is a little bit of planar magnetic timbre going on in the treble. But shit, for 60 or less, yeah, it's it's a go. It's a green means go. Like I said from the very beginning, green means go. This is a go, definitely. Um, Nicely accessorized, plethora of ear tips. I didn't even get into the build on this, so I guess we'll kind of finish there with some comps. Um, but the build is great. I mean, it's a heavy metal shell, but once you get them situated in your ears, it's not doesn't really fatigue you at all. The shells are a little bit on the larger side, I'd say. I mean, they got to have they got three dynamics in there and a planar, so there's got to be some room, um, but not overly large. And I think unless you've got super small ears, you're going to be fine. Um, and they're very smooth, and there's no hard edges. It has got a really nice feature, like wavy feature on the back here on the faceplate. Uh, yeah, nicely done, guys. Really, really nicely done. Nozzles come in and out fairly easily. I found a trick, which probably most of y'all knew anyway, but if you're having trouble getting the nozzles on or off or in or out, just put your ear tip on, squeeze, and you should be fine. Now that I'm doing that, it's not working. Of course. Oh, great. Okay, so well, at least I like the green nozzles because I guess they're going to be in there for a while. All right. As far as comps go, conclusions, yes, it's a highly recommended. It's in my opinion, it's a blind buy at the price. Um, as far as comps go, I did, do the whole thing with TRN. I did not include like the Medusa or the ST5 or what was the other one that I left out? I think I've got like three other sets. I couldn't believe how many TRN sets that I have. Oh yeah, that's right. The old V80 or whatever that was. I didn't include those, but of the more recent releases, the White Tiger, the Azure Dragon, and the Conch or Conch, if you want to pronounce it correctly. This was my favorite of those four. We all know that the Azure Dragon is a 14.6 millimeter planar that retails for $200. I like that set, but you can definitely do better for less for a planar, straight planar. The White Tiger, I feel like this beat out kind of fairly easily for just sort of balance and musicality, and up until the very mid to upper treble natural musical natural kind of feel to it. I thought it was better with the shell than it was on the White Tiger, and the Conch, as it always does, just surprised the shit out of me as to how good that thing is. And I haven't listened to it in well over a year. Honestly, have not put them in well over a year. And I was like, I wonder how these are holding up. And I was like, damn, that's still one of the best values you can get in the IEM market when it breaks down to like enjoyability, what you get with it, because you get some nice accessories. I mean, I love the Kiwi Ears Cadenza. I think that's also a banger for like 35, $40, but you don't get shit with it. You get like one set of ear tips, kind of a crappy cable, and no case. Whereas with the Conch, you get the Red Agnes cable, a bunch of ear tips, and a nice case. Well, a hockey puck case, but it's a case, so it. Man, if you're in that 40 or less category, well, now you got the shell at 45 or 50 on sale, so that's kind of an easy decision. But still, that Conch at like 35, if you get it 35 or even 32, 35, somewhere in there, that's a banger for that price. I think my review is almost 2 years old on that set. I should do a revisit because man, I was impressed. Not to take anything away from the shell, I think the shell is worth the price difference. But just keep that in mind. Keep the Conch in mind, in the back of your mind. If you're looking for a more budget-oriented set, that's a good one. Yeah, overall, I'm quite impressed. From everything from build quality, the cable's decent, the fit's good, the versatility, sort of the all-rounders aspect to it. Yeah, and the only reservation I would have if if I were a buyer, is that if I didn't like a planar magnetic sort of timbre in the mid to upper treble, then you can avoid it. It's not that the treble's bad; it's just planar through and through. It's there. So, and not like the nicest planar. I mean, it's fine. I'm not going back on my highly recommended go blind buy it. You just have to understand what you're getting into. So if you're not a fan of planar magnetic sets to start with, this is not going to do you any favors. Just plain and simple. But for everybody else, it's a go. For the 80th time during this review, green means go. That's it. We got some fun stuff coming up, guys. We've got the mystery set, which has been guessed correctly and has been noted as to who is going to receive one of those 4 sets that I listed in the community section. So congratulations to you if you know who you are, and if you do, please don't say, yay, I won, or that was me, or anything like that, because I just want to leave this set a mystery until the 2K celebration. But in the meantime, the Canara Celeste Yaksha is about to hit my mailbox. As you guys saw in the community section, the SL224 from Meyer Audio, the Sleevo, is in-house. I have yet to put it in my ears, but man, am I looking forward to that. So that's going to be fun. So those are your next 2 reviews, the Yaksha and the SL224. And then if all goes like I think it's going to go, because I think I'm only like 30 some odd subscribers left till 2K, then that should line up very well with that little celebration, giveaway, reveal, thank you, all of that kind of stuff that's going to happen during that very fun review, which I wish I could play music during, but probably get a copyright strike and have to take it down. So we're not doing that. Anyway, for now, it's Friday. I hope if you've got a weekend ahead of you, I hope you have a great weekend. Be careful, be safe, be nice. I love y'all. Nothing but peace to you, and we'll see you on Tuesday for either the Yaksha or the 224. Peace.